This is the United Uprising channel. Welcome to today's show. I want to share something that was shared with everybody over on the website, uprisingrevival.com, which again, if you're not a member of the website, you should definitely consider joining the website so you could share things with one another like this. Jen D uploaded this picture and this video in regards to what's going on in the skies over in Switzerland. Now, when we think of Switzerland, no one ever hears much coming out of Switzerland because, well, a lot doesn't come out of Switzerland. That's the home, of course, for most people that know of Klaus Schwab and many of the elites, and Switzerland is grounds for many of the ritual offerings that are done in those big castles out in Switzerlandville. But also Switzerland is known for CERN, you know, the place where they're smashing particles together trying to open a black hole, and we're all supposed to just nod and say, yeah, that sounds perfectly normal. How much money's going to this? Billions of dollars. What are you trying to do? Oh, we're smashing particles together to open up, a black hole and see what goes on. In other words, what we're trying to do over there is, smash dark matter together, open a black hole so that the fallen angels that God bound can be brought over from behind the veil over here, and then we'll call them aliens and demons, and everybody will believe it, right? Well, thanks to Jen D, I have this video clip to share with you that you might find interesting about what was going on over in the skies in Switzerland, which was just recorded. And of course, this won't make the news. And even if it does, they'll just say we're conspiracy theorists, that they were just doing some type of light show in the sky. Maybe they'll even say it was something like Blue Beam, but we're never supposed to believe what they're actually doing at CERN. They're only putting all this kind of money into CERN. They've only shown us tons of predictive programming with CERN, which I'll get into. But don't be suspicious of this going on in the sky over in Switzerland.
Oh. You seen that? You seen that come out of the clouds? Man, what was that?
Right, that looks perfectly normal. And again, the whole notion of what they tell us they're even trying to do at CERN, how we're allowing other human beings to do these types of things is beyond my own comprehension at this point. And of course, a weakened society, a distracted society, a society divided, and of course, that enables the wicked to run amok. And that's what's going on in our world. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with CERN, if this is your first time hearing about CERN, I've covered CERN so many times over the years, of course, only to be removed. But luckily for you, I have a montage of some of the stuff from CERN. Now, in the past, we've seen CERN do what they were mock satanic rituals. We've seen them do an actual ritual at the opening of the tunnel in Switzerland. We've seen CERN actually do literally a satanic ritual. Of course, CERN has the statue outside of CERN that they don't want you to ask questions about. You know, while they're trying to do this stuff, saying that it's science and telling us about evolution and how they're all atheists. There's a statue, of course, of Shiva the Destroyer right outside of CERN, the god of destruction, Shiva. And of course, if you don't know Shiva, you've probably seen, this goddess with all these arms. You've probably seen Beyonce using it, Madonna. All these celebrities just love thousands and thousands of arms. That's because they're revealing everything that's going on to you. And it's up to you if you want to see it or not. And I would probably say at this point, you shouldn't look away. You should be paying attention because it will affect your life and your family's life in the future. But they have the statue of Shiva outside, and Shiva, according to the definitions on Shiva, if you want a basic rundown, through Shiva's third eye, Shiva's able to burn anyone, even other gods, to ash. Also the power to create demons that are powerful enough to decapitate gods through the penchant ability to destroy. Shiva will wipe out the universe in the end of days, only for it to be reborn and begin anew. So interesting that that's the statue outside of this place where they're trying to smash particles together, doing stuff like you just saw up in the sky, and we're supposed to believe nothing of it. We're conspiracy theorists. They claim to be believers in science and evolution and not in God and not in the end times and not in all this stuff. Oh, of course, everybody is supposedly born yesterday to these people. So here's a compilation of some of the stuff from CERN over the years, including their ritual, including the commercial that they actually air on CERN's YouTube channel. It's aired on, I guess, television in Switzerland, where you literally could see a giant ritual circle with some guy, the Antichrist guy that looks like Barry Sortoro, aka Barack Obama. And of course, Stranger Things ties into all this as well, which I'll get into after the fact, because of course, Stranger Things is actually based off of CERN and what they're trying to do. You know, the upside down, you know, that big machine in Stranger Things, and everyone's like, what is that? Cool. What is the upside down? I don't know. And they just watch it on autopilot. They're showing you what they're doing. The machine that they use there, and that's CERN that they're showing you. And they're trying to, open that. Everyone's like, what are they doing in Stranger Things? They're trying to shoot rays through the wall there, and on the other side is the upside down. Yeah, it's the same thing. Here's CERN. So, I mean, are we supposed to, at some point, maybe hold any of these people accountable? Does anybody even know, like, who's given the green light? Who's the authority figures? Oh, well, they're just experimenting science. Well, who gave them authority over the atmosphere to do these types of things? Because I know I didn't. I know that everybody out there and, listen to this channel didn't. But they just took authority over it. Then what we're worried about is who's allowed to speak and who isn't. You're starting to connect the dots here as to why people aren't allowed to speak and what they're afraid of is if you start realizing what they're actually doing. Okay, not only stopping them from doing it, but realizing that this is a spiritual war. Many people would probably turn to God and find God because they wouldn't turn to the wicked because one, I mean, nobody's, they don't want to be, a lot of people aren't sick and demented like them. They're just deceived. And two, anyone with common sense wouldn't turn to these Satanists and the devil. They would turn to God because, like I always say, the devil and his minions are the greatest losers in the history of humanity. They're actually the definition of losers. Right? Not making fun of them losers, which yes, they are. I mean, they're all embarrassments to their family and everyone else in their lives, but losers because the devil loses in the end. Satan loses. So anyone who sides and chooses Satan, by definition, you're a loser because we already know the outcome of this whole thing. But in the meantime, we're all trying to make people aware of it, and none of us want to sit back and bend over as they bring demonic entities over from the other side. You know what I mean? There's a reason I didn't get into the Ouija board and stuff like that, not just because I thought it was dorky and stupid. I'm not really interested in dabbling in the occult and bringing it into my home. But I guess, it's one thing for us to say, hey, we don't want this in our home. It's another thing for them to say, hey, we're going to do it anyway, right inside our entire earth, right on our entire earth. We're going to summon spirits, open portals, etc. We're going to tell everybody that we're atheists. We're going to keep them distracted. And then when it actually happens, we're going to tell them that it's what? Aliens, right? Because they'll be dumb enough to believe it. They're already dumb enough to believe everything we say at this point, and they still don't realize we're taking their rights away and we're going to enslave them. So clearly they'll believe it's aliens, which is why for the last 100 years, there's been an alien movie that comes out every single month, and they just pump it into your head that aliens exist when they don't. Because Aleister Crowley teaches this. Aliens are not real, okay? Aliens used to be called demons because they were called demons beforehand, and then they renamed them into aliens. Why? Because again, if people realize what's really going on and that this is really a spiritual war, more souls will be led to Christ, and they can't have that happen. They can't. Okay, so people are going to believe whatever deception they tell them it is, and then they're going to tell you to side and become friends with the aliens. Oh, we're going to give aliens rights, and all these lib psychopaths are going to be on board. No, they're really from Mars. They're great people. Who cares? They want to eat your child. Don't worry about it, man. Love wins. And they'll be on board, and they'll be fine with it. They'll be holding up Ukraine flags. It all goes down, right? Because these people are not even human. They're manufactured. They don't have a single thought of their own going on. So everything's been done in advance of what's happening now with CERN, right? Everything's been done in advance. All the programming with aliens has been done in advance. And this all ties in with what CERN's trying to do. Now, people out there don't really believe that they can do this stuff. And okay, well, explain to me what CERN is. Other than what you want to tell me CERN could cause earthquakes and things like that? Well, of course it can, because the amount of power that thing can consume. And the fact that, let's not forget, the Hadron Colliders, we got China with Hadron Colliders. I mean, and the common person, if you bring it up to them, they're like, what is that? I don't know. That sounds complicated. Oh, okay. Right. This is, we're funding this, by the way, because your tax money doesn't go to roads. It goes to all these illegal things that are really going to end up being the thing that leads to our death and leads to all this stuff going down. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you up in the sky because you're not supposed to be suspicious at all of that up in the sky in Switzerland. You're supposed to believe that maybe it was somebody's Christmas display in their yard. They had it up in the sky. They wanted to show Santa and the reindeer. Can't you tell? That's what they were trying to do. And you're a conspiracy theorist if you believe in this stuff, even though it's been shown to us, it's been told to us. You can look at the commercial of CERN and the rituals they've done. And what is that? It's all trolling? Oh, it's all trolling, right? Not to forget that the Mandela thing with CERN as well, where they had the Mandela sign up. I've done that in the past. I mean, there's just so many things that people just do not have a clue about, right? But we're supposed to look at that. We're supposed to dismiss it. If we question it, we're conspiracy theorists. And then let's go sit on our sofa together, have some popcorn, and watch Stranger Things, and have no idea what we're even watching, even though it's the most popular show, one of the most popular shows of the last decade, and you probably couldn't run into 5 people and not find one of them that has watched it. And then you ask them what it's about, and they can't even figure it out. They're like, oh man, about some goo, black goo, and things from, they go into the upside down. I don't know, some kids playing around, and I love the 80s music and the arcades, so I watch it. Oh, right. Okay. Well, they're showing you this stuff. They reveal it in movies, and what we're told is fiction is really the truth and the reality of what's going on. You're living in a simulated reality. What they tell you is news is not. It's manufactured. So keep an eye on the story. I wanted to share that with everybody out there. Hope you're all doing well. God bless all of you, as always, and your families.